Having sex with your partner when you don't want to. I can hardly even say that with a straight face because that's like the cringiest thing ever, right? Clearly, we're not talking about rape issues. Like, obviously, that's hyper wrong, right? We're not talking about that. We're not even talking about anything obviously forcibly or you want to look out for yourself. You want to have boundaries, even if you're in a relationship, even if you've been married for decades, right? There can still be rape within the relationship. There could be. There can still be coercive sex. Yes, we're not talking about that. So just let that go because that's yuck, right? But it's you when you're deciding to have it with them, right? So you're deciding to have it, but maybe you don't really want to. Okay, so uh, uh, going into this knowing that obviously there are times when you don't want to have sex and you do decline to have it. You clearly should have the freedom to do that. If you don't, that's a big problem in a relationship. Run, get out of there. But so times when you don't want sex and you don't have it, and maybe probably that's most of the time. You don't want it, you don't have it. But we're talking about the times where you don't really want it, but then you go ahead and do have sex with your partner. So this might be if you're the low sex drive partner, sort of assuming you're the lower sex drive partner. This might be in what we call, or I would call this, your cycle days, your off cycle days, your middle cycle days. So usually the lower sex drive partner, if they have any interest in sex, usually goes in cycles where it's like a 3-day cycle. Where like the first day, yes, I love sex, I couldn't get enough of it, I might even initiate it. And then the next day, take it or leave it. And then the third day, I really do not want sex at all. Sometimes it's 3 days. Sometimes it's longer. Maybe it's 6 days. Maybe if there's hurt, if there's bad communication, there's other things going in the relationship. Instead of 3 or 6 days, it could be like weeks or months or years, right? But usually it's on those off days where you just don't want it and you're going along with it. So that's what we're talking about. So figure out where you stand on this. So are you having sex with your partner when you don't really want to, or you not even you don't want to, but you go ahead and do it? So figure out where you stand on this, right? Because I bet there are other activities you do with your partner because they like them, but you don't. So whatever it is, maybe they love going to see musicals, right? They just love musicals. And you're like, fine, whatever. Like maybe you secretly hate musicals. You find some things you like in there. Maybe you've learned to appreciate it. Maybe you're going because they're okay once in a while. Once you're kind of there and it's sort of enjoyable, but you're doing it because it makes your partner happy, right? We all do some things to make them happy, and your partner's doing things to make you happy, presumably. So just know that this is probably more normal than what you think. And then for you, does sex, being sexually intimate with your partner, physically intimate with your partner, does that have to be any different than doing something with them that you also don't enjoy? And they doing something with you that maybe they don't enjoy? Compromises, right? So just kind of, where does that sit with you? Figure out the things about sex that you do enjoy. So maybe maybe it's an off day for you, or maybe you don't enjoy sex as much as you used to, or maybe you never really did. Well, although we should talk if that's the case. What are the things that you might enjoy? What could you be open to? And have those conversations with your partner. Like, I'm like, oh, they maybe they come at you and they want sex, they initiate it, and you're like, oh, you know what, I'm not up for this right now, but I would be up for that. Give them a sensual massage, or not intercourse but oral sex, or I'd be opening to helping you masturbate or using toys or whatever it is for you in your relationship. So have a lot of options. That also helps. But just kind of seeing where you sit with that idea of having sex with your partner when maybe you're not in the mood. Is it unbelievably cringy and it's a hard no? Maybe that's the case for you. And then that's the case for you. Or maybe it isn't. And then there's a gray area that you want to be able to play around with. So think about it, ask me any questions, and reach out if you want any help on this. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video.